Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here with the weekend shift, and it was a great strat week. Holy crap. You had the big sell, you had the big sell-off on Monday. You had the FOMO report. I said that right. The FOMO report from the Fed. And then you had all that crazy price action after the Fed report. What it's been nuts. But if you follow the strat's been keeping you out of trouble, at least showing you when to cut it when it's going against you. And that's the advantage we have over other systems. How many people in the chat? This thing is blowing up. What's going on, Rob C? Kevin Bird, he knows what he's doing. I see him in the chat. He's in there. He's in the live chat doing good work, and he is catching on. That is awesome. What's up, Kyle? The Stratalorian. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna have to tell you about the Stratalorian. He is doing awesome things in the live chat with us here at Sapier Group, and he is also working options with Alpha Pack. You've seen FICO Jordan here on the Sapier Group a few episodes ago. And Stratalorian is out there, and he is taking the strat and using it with other stratters as well, and making bank. I'm telling you what, CVS. go look up Stratalorian's tweets on CVS. Everybody out here is trying to trade tech. Where's the money at? In CVS. Heck yeah. So shout out to Alpha Pack and FICO Jordan. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys on Friday. That was awesome. It was bring the kid to work day. And Strat and Lori, and let me come in there and hang out with him. This is the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. What's going on? How many people in the chat? How many people? Fernando, what's up? What's up, Bill? Bill out here. Bill, you're not only learning how to trade the strat, you learn how to tweet too. Hey, real quick, how many people in the chat? While I'm waiting on you guys to tell me how many people we got in the chat right now. Hey, if you want to get with us real quick, if you want to get with us here live with Rob Smith and Smith in the Black live trading room, type in the promo code Strat Soldier 2022. That's going to give you 3 months, a whole quarter with Rob Smith for only $99 per month. Okay, that's a huge deal, and I'm seeing a lot of people come in to the room. It's awesome. People coming in there, learning the lingo, knowing what to trade. Friday was interesting. Okay, but Rob let hold off. We got an inside day on the SPY. You do have XLE and energies coming up. You got XLE at the top, XLU with the utilities at all-time highs. You got XLP. If you know what you're doing, you can go trade those, but it's inside down on the SPY, and he kept a lot of us from doing dumb stuff, and that's why I show up. How many people? Oh, let me scroll down. Wow. Hey, this is the first time me ever using the scroll bar before. I never had to scroll down. 32. All right. 30. Rob C says 30-ish. What's up? Hey, it's Meow too. Heck yeah. She's back out here. That's awesome. Orion B. Hey, Rob C, text Sunshine. Tell her get out here. She's missing it. They're out there in the UK. It's about 7 p.m. out there. That's awesome. 30p. 38. Rachel in the house. What is going on? 43. Hey, we got ourselves a broadening formation. It was low, it ticked down, and now we're back up. Hey, we don't just trade it, we live it. This is the strat. Heck yeah. And we got we're gonna have here very soon. We're gonna have Joe, well, with the way the master come on here. You've seen Joe with Benzinga, you've seen him out here. He kind of disappeared for a little bit. He's back, and he's doing awesome things, and his main go-to is the Rev Strat. And I know you guys have been looking for the Rev Strats. It's Thomas with the kids in the back. Heck yeah, the kids in the back. Tom, let's say Thomas. Hey, Thomas, if you don't follow him on Twitter, because he is proof that the strat works on anything that trades. He's trading stuff like corn, and he's trading wheat. And, I don't know, you hear about these commodities on TV, but, I don't know anybody that really trades corn, but he does. And he's trading that broadening formation on that thing. Heck yeah. Willie B. Heck yeah. What's going on, man? Heck yeah. All right. So let's get to it. So we can get Ojo here. Let me see here. All right, so real quick, let's go over the broader averages, what we're seeing out here. This, if you're brand new to the weekend shift, this is where we slow things down. And this is how I have all my charts up when I trade. I got the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60. And I always have all these four charts up every time I trade, okay? All right, I don't show you guys one thing and go do another, all right? I don't use indicators. I don't use a bunch of mess on the charts. But I will say, if you use it and it makes sense to you, and you know, when I see a hammer at the bottom of this thingamajig and it goes 2-2 reversal to the upside, I know, because I've traded this thingamajig before, where it's going. Trade it, use it. Okay, Rob says use it all the time. All right. All right, so yes, I saw something in the chat here. So anyway, here's the Browning formation. So far in the SPY, we're still inside month, okay? And what we don't want is another inside month, because that's boring, all right? It's just going to be reversals back and forth in the month, all right? But here's the weeks. We started two down, 2-2 reversal down, shooter and force on the week. It tried to come back up, and then it went right back and forth again on Friday. So again, this is a great way to show how the strat keeps you out of trouble, because when things were going nuts to the upside, you knew for a fact, all right, we're still shooter in force on the week. I'm gonna take my reversals to the upside, but then I'm gonna raise my stops and I'm gonna take my profits just in case this thing goes nuts. It goes back and forth. I'm sorry, it goes back and forth to the downside, and it did. Okay. You see these little blue funky things on my weekly chart, because over here on the daily, you can see your tiny little Browning formation here, right? The 2-2 reversal down. Here's your days here's your days here. All right, here's your days. 2-2 reversal down. That's a 3-2 reversal down here, and then slight 2-2 reversal up, and then inside day for Friday. Okay, inside day for Friday. There was a lot of stuff moving around in here, but it still ended up inside day in red. And then here's your 60s for Friday. And I got a nice little Browning formation drawn on this 60. And Didi, actually, I started doing this on the 60s and posting these on Twitter and also in Sepia Social, because these Browning formations on the 60s are a perfect thing you could use, that it gives you enough time to see it play out through the day. And then it also gives you a plan for what you should be looking for the rest of for the day. Okay, we knew we had this big fat scenario 3 right here. We knew we had to get out of this outside bar right here. All right, and we know outside bars are Browning formations. We know that for a fact, right? So we knew we had to get out of here. So I drew this Browning formation right here. All right, and you can see that on my Twitter. All right, my Twitter feed and Sepia Social. I think I could post it. That definitely post it there, and you can see this Browning formation grow and move through the week. So that was really cool. So again, if you're brand new to the strat, you're not really good at Browning formations, you can draw this Browning formation on the 60. Have a plan for the week, because I know I got to get out of here. If it chops around in this scenario 3 right here, I know not to trade anything getting chopped up in here. All right, that's my no zone. I'm not messing around and stuff. Inside on the day. Inside in the 60s on the SPY, nothing's going on. This is the price consolidating. I don't need to mess with that, right? So you draw this sucker on the 60s. It gives you something, again, to watch the price move through the Browning formation. You can see that here. They test the highs. They test the lows. Couldn't take out the lows. All right, let's test the highs again. Bam, they took out the highs. What happened? Everybody's free. Everybody's like, oh, man, this is going to be great. We're going long again. Did we get our 2-2 reversal back up on Thursday? For a 2-2 reversal up on Friday? No, but we were looking for a 2-2 continuation, correct? Yes, we were. But what happened to the price? It hits the top of the Browning formation the last 30 minutes, the last flip of the day, and then comes back in. Now you got your 2-2 reversal back down on the 60s, and then you had your hammer and force back up, 2-2 reversal back up, work it, doesn't hit magnitude, comes back down again, okay? Then we just ran out of time. We just ran out of time. If this was crypto, or if it was 24-hour market, we would see this thing keep moving. Remember, these Browning formations, the price moves through this Browning formation, okay? So that's what's going on in SPY. The rest of the futures kind of look the same. Let me let's look at diamonds real quick, and I'm going to let Joe have it. Where are we at? I got some extra junk drawn on here. All right. So same thing in the diamonds, not as weak. All right. It's still 2 down on the week and in Dow Jones. Okay. But you got your 2 continuation here. All right. Now that's interesting. All right. So looking at the SPY. All right. Not a good day. Not a good day. Where's my stocks at? I like to trade Apple. I like to trade Disney. I like to trade UNH. I like to trade CVS. Where's all those stocks? Oh, they're in Dow Jones. Oh, okay. So let me go to that ticker. What's going on there? 2-2 continuation on the day. Let me drop down to my watch list of Dow Jones and work through those stocks. All right. Starting to understand what I'm saying? All right. Look at them broad information on the 60. Holy crap. 2-2 reversal back up to the upside, and it ain't coming back. If I got in here, kept my stops here until the price got up in this area, and then moved my stops even, and then pushed my stops up to 60s, or just kept them even, period. I could still be in this. Look at my dailies. I can still be in this. All right. I could still be in this trade in Dow Jones. All right. So that's interesting there. QQQ still getting wrecked. I got some stuff, still on here, but they hate QQQ right now. Tech is not the place to be if you're trying to go long. Tech is not the place to be if you're trying to go long. I'm going to say that one more time. 2-2 reversal down on the week, and it didn't even give QQQ a chance. All right. Look at these 60s. Again, our broadening formation on the 60s. If I just drew this during the beginning of the day, extend this line out. All right. If I just drew this, all right, here's my 60s. I know what I'm looking for. Let's see what needs to happen. I need to get out of this range here, but I can still see it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight range. People getting chopped up in here. People getting murdered in this area here, okay? So again, there's your 60. There's your broadening formation on the 60s. It works. The broadening formation is growing. We got 55 people in the chat now. Heck yeah. It is moving. So anyway, that's a good demonstration of how to use that broadening formation on 60s and give you a plan for the day. But yeah, again, QQQ getting beat up. And then IWM 2-2 reversal down. IWT, IYT, the transports they're just getting wrecked. Again, I don't know, 3-2 reversal down. All right, 3-2 continuation down on. Look at this on these weeks. All right, these are not where the buyers are. Okay, real quick, XLE, that's where it's at. XLV, XLP. All right, I pushed out a lot of charts from TrendSpider, detailing all that stuff. Go check them out. Where I'm going to skip the scenarios for right now because I'm over time because I talk too much about the broader averages, and I always put the labels on for the kids in the back, and I will do that once Joe starts talking about these charts. If we do get into the charts, I will put the labels on for you guys to see that stuff because we are talking about rev strats. A rev strat is either a single 1-bar rev strat, which is a 1-3, or a 2-bar rev strat, which is a 1-2-2. And I'm not trying to take any of Joe's thunder. Real quick in the chat, if you have questions for the chat, the only rule is put a question mark before your question. That way I can see it because while I'm scrolling and we're talking and stuff like that, I want you guys to talk to each other, answer each other's questions, have fun in there. But if you put that question mark in there, that lets me know, hey, I need to ask this question to Joe. So anyway, let's bring on Joe. What's going on, Joe?
Hey guys, glad to be here. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm a little rusty, so to speak.
Rusty. Well, the best part is
you don't even need me on the show. I think you're awesome.
People like variety. People like variety, and they don't want the same old thing. You don't want the same ice cream every day. So you're on here and bring us some variety, your perspective on things. And Absolutely. It's funny, but we're talking about this in the pre-show. We've known each other for about 3 years now, but this is the very first time we've actually talked to each other like in real life. Yeah. So it's awesome to see you, and we're real people. We're real people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. Virtual is real life these days,
Mm-hmm. So, that's true. That's true too.
I think it's awesome, and it's hard to believe too that it's been so long. 3 years is just gone.
Yeah. It's the stress of these broadening formations moving through. All these years of trading. You're just like, every week every week seems like it's by the end of the week, you're just like, oh geez, it's over. And then, what's that? That's awesome. What you got? Nice broadening formation you got back there. That's awesome. Nice background.
So those that have been following me on Twitter know that, we're right in the middle of building a house, and you really don't want to see what's behind me. It's just a mess. So
no. Yeah, well, I was just talking about your background. You got that broadening formation. I was just saying nice broadening formation on your background there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
That is. It's what you look for. I'll get into it. I just want to start by, giving a shout out to Rob. He pretty much changed everything for me. And I know he did for most traders. They feel the same way that I do. Most of the guys that I talk to that are new. But this stuff has been around for ever. I after I learned the strat, I went back and I started going through all my old trading books. And honestly, I just threw a lot of them away because they were junk, and but it's funny because as I go through, look back at those in those books, you can look at any of the charts in those books. It doesn't matter what kind of trading it is. And if you look at those charts, you see exactly what Rob has defined with the strat. You see the broadening formations, you see the inside outside bars, you can see that. And what's so amazing about it is that it's always been there. It's not like it's new. It's just that nobody was able to define it really, until Rob came along. And for him to be able to do that, it is awesome. And, I know he gives all the credit to God on that. And, but man, he's used him in ways that I don't think any of us will ever truly understand.
Yeah, so, I agree. It's amazing. I will see Steve Burns as a guy who puts, he's supported a lot of, he got Rob going with these articles. What do we know true about price action? And also his article on algorithmic trading. But Steve Burns will put out these books that has, it's just candlestick charting. And I'll take his charts, and not out of disrespect, but I'll take his charts and I'll draw the broadening formation. And I'll say, this is a 2-2 reversal to the upside, or this is a 3-1-2, you know what I mean? Here we go. And the reversals, and I'll mark them up and I'll post them out there. And I'll say, well, this is what the strat sees. And I don't do that as disrespect. It's just, you're 100% right. You can go to any trading book and look at a diagram and see the strat, and it's right there. You cannot unsee it. And once a 3, always a 3 cannot be. You're not going to convince me of anything else. You're not. So, so just to give everybody a little bit more background on how long you've been trading and what you've been doing, how'd you start trading, and what brought you to the strat, if you don't mind?
Well, it's kind of a roundabout journey because, my dad did stock trading, and he did it whenever I was too ignorant, I guess you could say, to pick up on it. I was young, just out of high school. And so a lot of what he knew and, what he was teaching at the time and the way he was trading with futures and commodities and stuff like that was, it was foreign to me, and I didn't understand it. I didn't want to understand it because I was so young. So to see this younger group pick up on that is pretty awesome, because there's a lot of other things that we could be getting into at a young age. We all do. Yeah. And so to see them do that is pretty awesome. But yeah, so my dad kind of opened that door for me, because I didn't start trading until years later. And by that time I'd already lost my dad, and, I wasn't able to pick up on some of that knowledge. But thankfully my mom kept a lot of his work, all of his paperwork on stuff on what, how he did things and whatnot. And so it kind of started there for me, and getting into it. And then, I eventually came to Twitter, and Pat Walker was one of my big influences, still is one of my big influences in the way he trades. And he made me profitable in trading. I was profitable before the strat, but whenever I came to the strat, it was because what I was trading, I would always see Rob pop up, and he's like, "Oh, you're getting killed now," and I'm wrong, And so it's like, eventually I just gave up, And I'm like, okay, what's this guy teaching?
Oh, that's so funny. I gotta stop. I gotta pause that one because it is hilarious. Because you're just like, you see hey, here it comes. We're gonna get Nvidia. It's their whatever the Nvidia. Nvidia has like this special day. I can't remember what they call it, Nvidia Day, whatever it is. And they're like, here we go. And then here's this outside bar to the downside on the daily. And Rob was just like, oh, there's your resistance line, huh? There it goes. Gone.
Yeah.
There's your support. There's your support. I'm sorry. There's your support. Gone.
That's hilarious. Yeah. And so it was a lot of that. I was trading with Pat, and he's excellent. I have nothing bad to say about Patrick Walker. He is one of my favorites still today. But yeah, Rob I guess it made it clearer for me in why I was in that trade or what I was looking at. Why was I adding to a position? Pat's really good about adding to his winners, but I didn't really have that. Why am I adding to it? What specifically makes this worth adding? And so, if you've been around the strat very long, you hear Rob say, we want to be adding. When we get to 50, we want to be in our biggest position. And, that's true, So yeah, that's what brought me to the strat, was the fact that Rob was a lot of times on the other side of my trades, and it was frustrating. Yeah. And so, I was disciplined enough to already be profitable, but when I came to the strat, it just exploded for me. And so it makes it easy to teach when you understand it so well. It makes it easy to laugh about the charts. Because what's going on, and you're like, I'm sorry if this is offensive, but that's going to bring people around, because exhaustion is a very real thing when it comes to trading, and you can either fight it or you can get on board. So
it's in. So, and what I think is really easy, what Rob's done with the strat, and be able to see the strat, and I think that's another reason why young people are gravitating to it, because we're not talking about volume capitulation. I'm not talking about, hey, this is a very good buying opportunity, when clearly the charts are all red on all time frames. I'm not telling you something the opposite of what is actually happening. I'm telling you right now, don't buy this, buy this. Don't buy tech, buy cereal and Coca-Cola, Captain Crunch and Pepsi.
Yeah, no, I know.
And that'll change. And it'll shift from XLP back, but right now it's not the time. And I think that helps a lot of new traders understand, okay, I know what buys and sells look like, and the strat puts me in the right position, or at least shows me when I need to cut it. This is against me. I'm, what I mean? XLE is blasting, but the one I picked is not good. You know what I mean? It's not good.
Yeah. So you've heard me talk about this before, but so the strat is really, you're either in the looking zone or you're not in the looking zone when it comes to your trading. And what I mean by that is that what you're doing hasn't got you to that frustration level. It hasn't got you to where you've blown up accounts, or you're ready to give up on trading because you don't fully understand what's actually going on. And so if you're not in the looking zone, like when people bash you on Twitter and, they give you a hard time about your position, they're not in the looking zone. They're not looking for something different. The guys that are in that zone are the ones that are asking the questions. They want to learn. And those are the ones you really want to spend your time with, and so you can get really tied up in trying to convince somebody, spend tons of time trying to do it, and you're basically just wasting your time, because if they're not there, then it doesn't matter what you say. So
that's a good point. That's a real good point. Maybe that's something I need to remember too, when we're talking about this and that, because you're right. This style of trading is for this person, and they are amazing at it, and there's no point in trying to try. So that's a good point. We're not out here trying to convert people. We're not out here converting people. We're just
exactly.
No, we're letting people do their thing. And if they have a, hey, why would you add to this, or why would you not buy into this? We'll say, well, because look at this snare on the quarter. This has been selling off all these quarters. Why would I jump into this? And then you can explain it. But we're not converting people. And that's awesome. If they're in a looking zone, and I see you say that a lot, Joe, on Twitter. So I appreciate you saying that here. if someone's in the looking zone and they have questions, answer them. No matter how dumb they are, answer the questions, and then if they want to come over and see it, check us out, they will, you know what I mean. But we're not out here trying to stop other people from trading however they want.
Right. Yeah. I'll never hate on anybody's trading style, because I was that guy once, and if it wasn't for Rob and some of the other people in the strat community, then I might not have ever seen it, if they weren't willing to share that with me. So I guess one of the most rewarding things for me in the strat has not been the fact that, it's just like Rob says, it puts your trading on steroids if you already have a proven system. It's been rewarding seeing not only the young new traders, but it's also been rewarding seeing the veteran traders, even more so the guys that have already been profitable, that they're already making a living at trading, seeing something new after being in the trading, being in that field for so long. Seeing veteran traders ask questions. Okay, why is this? Why is that? It's awesome, because I've been following a lot of guys that I respect on Twitter for a long time, and other places. I know a lot outside of Twitter, but to see them ask questions after I was following their style for so long, and I never really could make it work, and then the strat came in, and it works. I don't know. It's rewarding. It's very rewarding. And to be able to share that to change their own trading is a big deal. So
yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. One question in the chat from Alex. It says, hey, Joe, since commissions are high in Canada, I'm trying to grow my account. Do you guys think weekly or monthly setups work in a choppy market? Real quick. I know we're going to get into rev strats, but I guess that's just a general question about
commissions. Yeah, no, that's okay. They do, if you're in the right sector, if you're in what's moving. There's something always moving. There's always something rotating. I mean, look at where we're at in the market. Tech is dying right now. Small caps they're pretty much dead. They're right in the middle of a broadening formation inside day currently. SPY's not much better. Like you said, the diamonds are the best looking, really. But look at healthcare. Healthcare has just taken off full-time continuity this week, or last week.
Yeah.
And so there's always something moving that you can get into, and there's always the backside. There's tons of backside moves, and that question kind of gets me into the broadening formations. So coming from the can slim style of trading, this goes back to the post that I sent out last night with Sepia Group. I was mainly a long trader, and I still am. My bias is long most of the time, but that's what's so amazing about the broadening formation is that if you don't have a long position and that thing's going against you, just flip your position. I mean, it's really that simple.
Yes.
It's just, that was one of the hardest things for me, was that changing that mentality when the chart did.
Yeah. Yes, that is tough. That is tough. And it is tough. And what I've been doing since we last time we talked about trading, flipping that, I've discovered, Sarah taught me about, the inverses, SQQ, SPXS. And once when the SPY is going to the downside, I'm like, I'm going straight to these charts. Outside 60 to the downside, I am buying this mug because it's a long on that one, and I know how to go long all day long. I know how to do that, and I am kicking that thing's butt, and that's fun.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Different chart.
Yeah, it's just the same thing, different chart. So ARC with Kathy Woods. So that's a new one, and so there's ARC out there, but then there's SARC, and SARC is to the highs. I tell you what. And Rob says, it's funny. Someone put that there on Twitter. Hey, Kathy, is innovation here? We're just looking at this crystal ball and like, we're looking for innovation. Innovation, is it here in the room? And it's in Stark. But anyway.
That's so
good. Oh man, we got another question from RP. What's going on, RP? Also, someone who's been with us for a long time. Thank you, Art, for being here. Let's get into some rev strats. I don't want to run too much time. Do you want to show? I can dig. A chart that has a rev strat on it. We can show. I didn't dig any up for you pre. I just want to show on a chart what a rev strat looks like. I can screen share, or you can. Oh, you want to go over the basics of, or do you want me to do it? The basics of what a rev strat is.
Yeah, you can. Do you have some you can pull up, or I can screen share? There's a couple of good ones on the daily. So there's some really good ones on the weekly. So
what do you got on what chart?
NTST and Rexer on the daily.
Okay, hold on.
Decent rev strats. They're not
NTST daily. Let me make this big and put the labels on for the kids in the back. Bam. The kids in the back. I'll explain that to you, Joe. The kids in the back are back there. You know, they're just chilling. You know, sometimes they don't pay attention. You know, the kids in the back, they need a little bit more help. So you got to yell, or you got to bang on the desk. You know what I mean? You got to make it funny. You know, I got to squirt water at you or something like that. Get you pay attention. Here I got one. Let me get my elliptical. Look at this thing. Uh-oh, someone's using tools. But I see a rev strat in this area here.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one you're looking at?
No, but that'll work.
All right. Yep, 1, 2, 2. So just simple.
I tell you what, if you want a really good one, let's go back to MP.
MP.
MP had a killer one that I actually traded this one the other day.
Daily.
Yeah, daily, right there, 1, 2, 2, right in the middle.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I'm gonna highlight this thing real quick so everybody can see it, and then we'll talk about it real quick. So quickly, a rev strat is again a 2-bar rev strat is a scenario 1, scenario 2, and a scenario 2. So a 2 down, 2 up, or a this is not gonna give me it's not gonna be perfect here.
Yeah, it's all right. We can see it. 1, 2, 2 there.
Right here. Right here in this area. Okay. So you got scenario 1, scenario 2 down. They took the price down, but then the buyers started stepping in, and then you got a hammer and force. So the reason why I always trade, so two back up, scenario 2 back up, and they took out the magnitude here at 56.54. And me personally, why I always look for hammers and shooters and inside bars. Those are my actionable signals. So I would always yell out, hey, 2-2 reversal back up on any time frame, and then someone like you or somebody will go, hey, that's a rev strat, because it's easier for me to see this 2-2 reversal up. You know what I mean? But but for a rev strat, here it is: scenario 1, 2 down, 2 up, and then the opposite would be a scenario 1, 2 up, and then 2 down. And then one of these days we'll talk about a Randy Jackson. We might see one here pretty soon, but go ahead. And then this in itself is a broadening formation, but go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So you sent me a message last night, and, you know, I already knew we were talking rev strats, and you're like, can you talk about broadening formations too? And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, a rev strat's a broadening formation, right? Okay. So anyway, so a rev strat, 1, 2, 2 rev strat it's basically the same thing as a 1, 3. Basically what you're looking at is, instead of a 1-bar rev strat, like you said, you're looking at a compound 3. That 1, 2, 2, you're looking for that hammer to go in force above the high of that 2, and you're looking for it to target new highs there. And man, that thing was spot on the other day. They don't always work. They might fail, like you said, Randy Jackson, and that is an additional powerful move. Like I said, if it's not going with you, just flip your position. So this is one of my favorite setups, because not only has the broadening formation not completely formed yet, because really you've only got a half of the broadening formation. You've got the bottom trend line of that broadening formation. So most people think, okay, it's breaking the highs. That's where I need to enter. So the high of the previous 2 to the 1 right there to the left.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
Right there. So most people are going to be entering right there. So, bang, they enter and they're stopped right back out. And you can look, if you go down to the smaller time frames on that chart, you can see it during the day. It took off right first thing in the morning, tagged the top of that broadening formation, and basically created the broadening formation.
Wow. Holy crap. Yeah. Look at this. Look at that. These are on the 60s right here. This thing blasts off beginning of the day, scenario 2 up. And again, the strat will keep you out of trouble, at least tell you when to take profits, because then you got this huge 2-2 reversal back to the downside. Holy crap. But then it's all stuck in this. Oh my,
Yeah. And so going back to the daily, the current chart, we're still stuck in that broadening formation. But what's so awesome is that if you're not focusing on just the daily chart, if you go out to the weekly and the monthly chart, you'll see the 322 move that it's made on the monthly chart. And it was trading right at exhaustion. So, that's the number one place that I look for reversals or to get out of my position. So
yep. I got caught up looking at this broadening formation here because this is perfect.
Yeah, see it was.
And that's on a smaller time frame, but then you're using your daily. Let's look at the daily. Look at that. That rev strat is in. And I marked this on the 60s, which is perfect because you come back out to the dailies, as you were saying, and we'll go to the weekly. But there's your broadening formation. There's your rev strat. Yep, 1, 2 down, 2 back up.
And so so that started, that broadening formation. Once it completed, it basically put everything else at a standstill at exhaustion right there.
Yep.
So and if you
and then here's right here, here's a I might be wrong. This is a Randy Jackson right here, right? 1, 2 up. Yep. So since we're talking about it real quick, and this is exactly what Joe was talking about right here. You were talking about, Joe. You got a rev strat. It's still stuck in this broadening formation, still chopping around in here. Doesn't take out the highs. Okay. So this rev strat fails, goes back down. And like you said, just flip your position 2 down now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this one didn't work. I'm stopped out. Oh, it's going to the downside there. Downside 2-2. If you have to think about it that way, 2-2 reversal back down. I know where to get in at. Bam. And you could have held that the rest of the day or the rest of these days for the rest of the week. Wow.
All week. Yeah.
It's all in that broadening formation. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. And so it's extremely wicky right there. You notice that the 2-1, 2-2 right there at the top of the broadening formation. But if you draw your monthly broadening formation, the 3-2-2 on that.
All right, let me do that real quick.
They all fall in line.
Yep. Let's go to the month, leaving the labels on. Look at that, man.
Yeah, look at that 3-2-2. That was beautiful.
Yes. And that's nothing Rob's been talking about. The 3-2-2. I don't have my soundboard on this morning, but the 3-2-2 right there. Beautiful. They took the price down. And here's your broadening formation. They took the price down, and then I know my target's right there, 52.80. If I get a 2-2 reversal back up here, bam, I'm going for this mug. And that's awesome. That is perfect. Yeah, that's how you trade broadening formations. That's awesome. And you're saying the rev strat was all in this, right?
Yeah, it was all in it. It was already in force, because of the 3-2-2. Everything was in force. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So the rev strat was an obvious, top of the list to trade for me. It was a day trade for me because, I'm kind of in and out with building. So, I just come in, I scan what looks good, what's set up. That's it.
That's awesome. And I think that's a real good example of finding a reversal, because this is in force. So I always talk about finding a reversal back into the green. And we're using a triangle layout to get back into a trade that's already in force on a larger time frame, because some people will go, okay, in Rob's room, Rob's calling out stuff that's already going. You know what I mean? MP's already 2-2 reversal up, 3-2-2 up above 46. Was it 47.26? I missed it. I'm done. I need to go, and they go back and start looking through all these other charts to find something else to be the first one in. But like Rob said, you don't be the first one. You don't have to be the first one in. And you don't want to be the first one in the party all the time, because then you're going to mess around. You're going to be the guy setting up chairs, helping filling up, the cups for the friggin' beer pong and all that crap. You're going to be the guy setting all that crap up. And then people are going to get sick of seeing you there, because they know you've been there since the beginning of the party or whatever. But anyway, I'm just saying this is in force, 3-2-2 in force already on the month, and then finding a reversal back into that. And once that goes in force, to hit that, and that's awesome. I got it. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Yeah. There's that rev strat, and I know that's already in force. So yes, and just because it's at the top of the broadening formation doesn't mean we don't take it. But here's a reversal back into the green, and I'm working that thing until it stops, and then I take my profits and walk. That's how you trade. That's how you trade broadening formations in the strat. That's awesome. I'm glad you pointed that out. That's awesome.
So the 3-2-2, on my chart, it kind of throws off, depending on what platform you're using. It kind of throws off your lines a little bit when you go between time frames.
Yeah.
But on mine, the top of that 3-2-2 broadening formation comes right across the top of those. I mean, it's just dead on it.
Yeah, I had to. Here's your month. Here's your 3-2-2, and I had to adjust it when I dropped back down to the 60s. You're right. So I had to adjust it just a hair.
Yeah. So there's no guarantee that it's going to stop there, but that's a a place that you want to be watching for reversals immediately. That exhaustion area.
Yep, it hits the top of the broadening formation. Now, so what I've been doing, because Rob will say this, and then Sarah will say this, just take the magnitude, especially if you're trading options, just take the magnitude. And so they'll get to 60-23 and they'll just take it. For me, I'm still a tank. Okay. I got an account with, you know what I mean? And I only have so many rounds, and I'm trying to get into a position where I can just hang. I don't want to jump around. I don't want to do a bunch of things. So what I'll do is I will get into this trade right here. It's at the top of the broadening formation. I know it's at the top, but I don't cut it. What I do is I drop down to my 60s, my 30s, my 15s, and I will push my stops up. If it's at magnitude, push my stops up, because it does two things. One, keeps me in the trade, and if it runs, cool. I don't get stopped out. It's still running. I'm still making money. If something dumb happens, because Joe decided he's taking his magnitude and he's a big player and he takes his money out, and then everybody else starts taking their money out, and it starts to create a choppy situation, I get stopped out with profit, and I'm done. I don't and I'm not sitting here going, I'm not waiting for it at 93 going, man, I wish I would have took it at 60. I wish I would have took it at 60. I wish I would have took it at, what was it, 58.32. I wish I would have took it there. I'm not hoping and praying it comes back because of previous profits. So I might have got stopped out here. I might have got stopped out in here. You know what I mean? Or like I said, smaller time frames, it'd probably be up in this area. But I like to push my stops up. Of course, I'm working common, but I push my stops up when it gets to magnitude. That way, if it keeps running, I'm still in. But if I got stopped out, I'm donezo. I'm not sitting here, like I said, hoping it comes back. So
absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, that it keeps you in longer. I'm the guy that takes it.
Yeah.
I take it It's in the broadening formation, I'm out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So and that's smart too. That's very smart. Go ahead.
I can always find another in, give me another setup. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. You're definitely a guy, I got, I know things are going well. Yeah, that was fun. Like you start, I don't know, if things are going well, just take it. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that kind of stays at the party way too long. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I better leave.
Yeah, like you said, you can't be early, you can't be late.
You can't be late. Yeah. You just got to know when. Okay, all right, time to go. That's a great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to keep us on broadening formations. This one didn't have a rev strat, but almost the identical setup is GFS. You want to flip over to GFS?
Yes. What do they do? They make coffee cups. What do those guys do?
I don't know.
That's a joke. That's a joke in the room, because that's a little bit inside joke for the strat, because we say all the time, I don't care what this company does. I'm trading the condition. I'm trading 3-2-2 up on the month. What do they do? They make number 3 pencils. Oh, okay. And then just start buying. I don't care. I don't give a crap. So that's
oh my goodness.
They make socks for cats. Oh, okay. Yeah, Roger. Buy it.
Moneymaker there.
Moneymaker. I'm trying to scroll through the chat. Let me see here. One question from Paul real quick. Can you show when you flip your position if you have one? Yeah, Paul, I think we already went through that. I'm looking at the time here, and then the question you put it in there. The time you put the question in there. Yeah, Roger. That was so if we're going rev strat and 2 down and then 2 back up. So you're hitting that scenario 2 right back right in their face. You're hitting that scenario 2 as it goes back up, or if it's rev strat down, you're hitting that 2 down as it goes down immediately. Alex says right before you go to GFS, where Alex says, do you use scanners to find these rev strats?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of scanners out there depending on what platform you use, but the scanner that I use, I wrote because I got tired of seeing so many charts that were 1, 2 down technically, but they weren't specifically what I was looking for. What I like to see with the rev strat is I like to see the 2 down, but I like to see the close above the open, which puts that 2 down in a green, usually a hammer position. And so it tells me that buyers have stepped up. We're back. The continuity is green, at least on the day. And so, yeah, I use a scanner. And I can share that.
Yeah, I use the scanner. No, that's great. I love how you say that.
Share that scanner, yeah. But I guess I just wanted to clarify that not all rev strats are equal.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
I mean, they're really not. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. And what you're saying is awesome because it kind of goes along with what I say. I know I'm getting closer to as these scanners get more accurate and people are building scanners based on the strat as opposed to just using any old scanner. I'm gravitating. I'm starting to use a little bit more. Again, Rob calls it a fish finder in the live room. He calls it a fish finder. And once that thing starts blasting, then we know to start looking for stuff. 2 up or 2 down. So I'm starting to look at scanners because people are building them based on the strat because we look at the open, not the close. But my initial point of view of scanners is I don't use them because you'll see a 2-2 reversal scan and it's like, no, this is not really what I'm looking for. So I'm glad you said that. I
was going to add one more thing there. I don't think anybody asked a question about it, but whenever I set my stop on that setup, I set it where the previous 2 went red. That's my stop.
Let me see. You want to find there's the rev strat right there. You want to go back to, do you got one on here? We can show their stops on this one.
Yeah, just go back to MP. We'll go back
MP, to that. And we'll find that rev strat on the daily real quick, and then we'll mark that because that's awesome. Yes, because we do talk about stops. Everyone wants to talk about their gains. I want to talk about where's your stops at. Heck yeah. And then we'll scenario, here's your reversal. So your stop's going here?
My stop is where it went red. Yeah, right there at the bottom of that hammer. The bottom of the hammer. Or I'm sorry, the bottom of the where it opened.
Yeah, right. Right here?
No, down.
Down.
Down. Oh, right there. Yep.
Right there. Bam. Okay, good. I'm gonna make the spread.
It went green right there. So I know that's going to be a key spot for most of the guys that got long. So that's where my stop is. If it triggers my entry, my stop is right there.
Okay, awesome. That definitely lines up with what I teach as well. So I'm glad you said that. So I'm going to leave this up just for a second for the kids in the back. Take your phone out, screenshot that thing or something. Take a picture. Take a picture. There's your stop. There's your entry. There's your stop for a rev strat. I like that because people are doing is and we had to make some corrections on the combo sheet. Sarah put out a good update on the combo sheet because what people were doing was putting their stops way down here.
Yeah, way too much for me. Yeah, way too much.
Yeah, that's way too much. And I've been teaching people to put their stops here, which is because they get stopped out with profit. That's what I mean. Or excuse me, they get stopped out with a small loss. But this is perfect too. I think that lines up pretty well.
Yeah, you're stopping out. If you put your stop all the way down there, you're stopping out at the bottom of the Brodmann formation. Yeah. Because if you triggered, you're already in. So that went 3 on you. So
now you're using now you're losing a lot as opposed to just this didn't work. This Randy Jackson situation here. Let's let me see here. Let's do that. Maybe we could put the entry and exit on this Randy Jackson.
Yeah, so it depends on the candle. Yeah. So, I get the question a lot, where do you put your stops? And it depends on the setup. It really does. It depends on what that candle looks like. Because that stop would be too low for me. If that was going a 2 up, that's way too low. I would probably move it up to the middle of the range of that candle.
Right here? Yeah. And that's awesome. And what I guess what I was trying to demonstrate here is here's your rev strat down here. Okay. And this one worked perfect. All right. But here's a rev strat that failed, and we call it a Randy Jackson. So here's a rev strat that failed. And this is where you would have your entry. This is where you have your stop. This thing worked for a little bit, but then it ticked down. What happened? Oh, it's consolidating in here. Okay. All right. But then this next bar comes in. It's at 58.26. This thing could still work, but then it blows through your stop at 56, 53. I'm out.
Yeah. See,
I'm out. Then I flip my position. I'm still, now I'm working this thing like as you're saying, but putting my stop here, that's perfect, because I like how you're showing that, because it's not a lot of risk, and if something goes wrong, that's most realistic. If something that shows where we put our stops, and you're going to get stopped out, and you're definitely showing how that's a small loss, and I like that a lot. Thank you.
Well, and to add something there, Jermaine, if you took that trade, you wouldn't be stopped out yet on the daily. So that would become a swing for you. So technically you'd be losing even less, because you would want to move your stop up to the bottom of that day.
Yeah, that is true.
So right there. Yeah. So to go back to the other one, I want to see risk reward, risk reward for all the risk reward guys. That 1-2-2, that was a 5-to-1 risk reward. That one, it would have been close to the same. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have taken that second 1-2-2 just because of the way that. Let me go back to that chart.
Right, because it would, I see, because you already hit magnitude. You already hit the top of the broadening formation at 60-18, and you don't have to squeeze So you wouldn't, you don't have to squeeze every drop out of your trade. But at the same time, I could see myself jumping in. Okay, here's a rev strat. It worked. Awesome. Hit the top. Oh, here's another setup. It might hit it again, because my 3-2-2 is still in force on the month. It might do it again. It might continue and blast. So I can see myself putting in a smaller position here. Oh, it didn't work. Stopped out. Okay, fine. I'm done. Now I'm done messing with it, or flip to the other side.
Yeah. Well, and that's why all the time frames. Additionally, that's why all the time frames are important, because if you look at that, that closed red on the day instead of the green hammer, like I like. It's still almost a hammer, maybe more of a
Let's do this. I'm gonna
it's red.
Let's look at this trade. You will not have, for the kids in the back, you will not have your labels on this one. I am sorry, because I want to show, like you said, I want to see. Let's look at the entire thing. Okay, here's your month. We're looking at March for this trade, for this 3-2-2. We're looking at March for everybody out there in internet land. Okay, and then your 60s. We're about here. I'm trying to get this lined up to that March time frame where we're seeing here. So March, March. Okay, so here's all your time frames, all up, all at once. Okay, so now you want to walk through this trade one more time, based on all the time frames you were saying.
Oh, where it was at whenever I traded the rev strat.
Yeah. So you're just saying, okay, here's your rev strat up, and then why you would not take this dude here. Why you would not take here.
First of all, it was on April Fool's. So I'm out just because of that. Okay, no. So on that specific one, we're starting a new month. We're starting a new week. Well, actually, I think that fell at the end of the week, didn't it?
Like 31st
was at the end of the week.
Yep.
So we're at the end of the week on a weekly bar. We're rolling over a new month. We're rolling over a new quarter. Those are coupled because it's new quarter, new month. So that, that bar is going to look the same. It closed red. So, my entry would change. My perspective on the setup changes. And the fact that it's at exhaustion, even more so now, and it's kind of just hanging out there with all those factors, it doesn't make it as an attractive setup, if that makes sense.
No, that that makes perfect sense.
So I mean, the other one, we had time frame continuity, we had time at the end of the month, end of the quarter. There were so many reasons why that setup looks better. And if you just look at it on the chart, it just looks looks good.
Yeah, it was good because
The second
everything
one.
was all time frame continuity to the upside. And if you would have took this rev strat right here and just held it, there's a,
Yeah.
I'm in this thing, it's working, it worked before, but then you don't have your stops, you don't get, you don't stop yourself out of this thing and you just hold it. What you did was set yourself up for a 2-2 reversal back down on the weekly was exactly what happened. And now you're stuck in this inside month. And like it is still hanging out there. It's not completely getting killed, but you're holding on to a losing position. I mean, look at these 60s. Yeah. Let me move this out here this way, because here's the rest of your 60s. If I would have took that rev strat and ignored the fact that let me take my stop. I'm going to leave a line there because I'm going to show it's a losing position. But if I ignore the fact that it's a loser, now I'm hoping and praying it comes back. Look at these 60s. It's just chopping around in here. Not good. And it's just, one thing I started talking about since you've been back, Sarah likes to talk about pivot machine guns. I like to talk about falling down the stairs. I mean, look at this thing. It's just falling down the stairs. Bam, 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 bam. Try to get back up. Nope. You're falling some more back down the stairs. So, yeah, that's a really good point there. You took this one because it worked, and then you if you want to take the next one, based on time frame continuity, it's not really that great. It's already at the top. It already hit it, came back in.
I mean, my entry there, your entry there would be where I sold it the other day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just not as attractive just because of that exhaustion risk there.
Yeah.
Your level of your patience needs to match your time frame. You can't be trading the daily thinking about the monthly, even though you gotta think about the fact that the monthly is in force. But you can't be. I guess what I'm saying is that if you're day trading these things, if you're day trading rev strats, you've got to have that level of patience. Versus you. I mean.
No,
if
you're right.
You're trading the weekly time frame, I mean, is that coming across clear? If you're trading the weekly time frame, you can't be down here on the 5-minute getting stopped out. Your patience has got to match your time frame.
Yeah. And it's been working as a swing trader myself. Like I said, the patience level has really worked on all of us swing traders. And what I have been doing is, because I've been getting stopped out, either stopped out even or just hitting my stops on my weeklies or my daily stops. What I've been doing and what I've been showing everybody else is to create the winning position. And then as soon as you get the 2-2 continuations, start pushing those stops up. And then you get stopped out with profit. So that way, if you're a weekly, monthly, day trader, weekly, monthly trader, that's the things you do. That's what you're good at. But the volatility out here is so great that it's I had ENPH. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, so bring me back because I'm trying to make a point. ENPH was a fantastic one. I jumped in this because of the quarterly, but then it came right back in on me. Okay, all right here, and I had to you get in there, you push your stops up. You get stopped out with profit. You might not take, I want this thing that me personally, I'm a tank. I want this thing. I want my quarterly chart. Let's switch this to the quarter. I want this hammer in force right here. And I want to get in on ENPH at 205.75 and I'm in. And I want this thing to continue to blast all the way up to 228, 282. That's what I want. But the way the market conditions are right now, I had to push my stops even. And then I had to push my stops up as the trade was going, because this thing had a range of, it would go $9 up and then $9 back down on some of these 60s. I can mark them here if you want, but go back on the ENPH. These ranges are really big. I mean, look at this Thursday, this week right here. I mean, this thing's awesome. You're in here at 201 right here, quarterly, 201. Then it gets back up here at 205. You can't see me. I got my hand about to hit the screen. Now my quarterly is in force. You can see that bar over there. My quarterly is in force. It hits all the way up to 215. I'm in this mug. I'm good. I don't need to. I put my stops even. I don't need to. I go back to work. I'm good. But then you come in. Okay, here's my next 60. Let me just check my charts. Here's the 60 back down. This thing's all the way back down to 206. All right, and now I got a 2-2 reversal back down. right here, and then all the way back down to 203. So well, I guess what I'm saying on ENPH is it kind of forced me to go ahead and push my stops even and then push my stops up, or else I'm not getting anything. So
Right.
swing trading, I know what you're saying about patience and getting stopped out on the 5-minute bars. I get that, but the volatility has been so crazy. I'm just out here trying to give the swing traders some kind of mentality or some type of way of dealing with this volatility. When I'm a quarterly, monthly swing trader, I'm not, I'm trying to get in a position and go back to work. I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
I see you. We'll talk some mess after, or I'll talk to Rob or whatever, and we'll have fun, but I'm not trying to jump around and do a bunch of stuff. And I want you to repeat your point about patience and the time frames. But for swing traders, I've been telling them, put your stops even, and then push your stops up. So if something dumb happens and the Fed gets on the mic, or anybody else in the government gets on the mic talking about the market, and this thing starts tanking, I get stopped out with a profit, and then I find another entry in, because it's been tough. So go ahead, say it again. But I just want to give up.
And I get asked this a ton because I love the quarterly chart. That 322, that's a killer setup. As far as the strat goes, that would have been one that I took also. And I'd probably still be in it because I get a lot of questions about how to set your stop on such a big mover like that, because it's got a range. So number one, your size and position matter. How big is your position in that? Is it big enough not to completely drain your bank account based on your stop level? That's an important thing to be aware of. But then again, this one on the daily, this would really have to stop me out on the weekly to get me out of it.
Okay.
And and it's still good on the week, even though it's red. It's still a 2 up. Who knows? And energy it's been a good sector, to be in. So we may be starting to see a little bit of rotation out of that now that healthcare is taking off. Energy might be taking a break here. So who knows? But yeah, that's if you took that position on 322, that's a red flag. Red flag number one was where it went red on the quarter around 201, like you said.
Red on the quarter. Went on the red. Went red. About 201 the area. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So that's red flag number one. Number two, does it reverse the week? Because we know that the month and a quarter are still coupled. So you're looking at the same bar, same stops, same entries. So yeah, let's see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah. And
sorry. So yeah, your patience level has to be, you got to match it to your time frame. On the daily, we would all been stopped out of that, but who knows how it's going to shape up on the daily. It might create a broadening formation next week, go outside week, come back with an inside week, and go 312 and continue up on the quarter. You don't know what's the next step here. What's the next two? What's the next one?
Yep. Rob's in the, I got to put it up because Rob's in the chat saying VRTX. So I'm going to put it up here. Oh my gosh. Why do you do this, Rob?
Yeah.
Rob out here kicking up dirt. I'm out here talking about ENPH. Look at VRTX. What was I doing? I smacked myself. What am I doing?
You'd be looking for new highs on that one on the year.
Yes. You know what? Let's just flip it to the yearly chart. Oh my gosh.
Compound 3 there.
Oh man, look at that. 2-2 reversal, back up VRTX. This is a yearly chart. Again, this is not a yearly chart is not all my days and years. No, these are not days on a yearly range. No, these are years. Okay, look at these years. And 2-2 reversal, back up on the year. Go ahead, man.
There's a lot of year left.
There's a lot of year left.
That looks good.
So you saw my live reaction to the VRTX in the right now, and as a stratter I could be like, oh, I missed the move. I should have been in there at 243. I'm dumb. you know, and do all that
No,
stuff.
we're like, give me an inside bar.
Give me a 2 up and 2 down. Here's my 60s right here. I could have been in right here. This is where I'm at. 3-1-2 continuation up. I would still take that thing. I'm in, like you said, inside bar. I'm in, and now I'm in for the, or give me a reversal, triangle layout. They will give me something on the daily. Give me something on the weekly. They drop it down.
Yeah.
Back into the green for the year. So, and this would go on my macro list. And I don't know why it's not on there yet. So I'm going to put it in there right now. On my macro list. And here's all my macros. Here's all my macro charts so anytime the SPY is green, I know where to go with these stocks. I'm going, okay, it's in SPY is green, SPY's blasting. Let me go look at crowd. What's crowd doing? Let's go back to because I got drew a lot of stuff on this. I was looking at this one. So crowd gapped up. We knew we were looking at crowd because of the macro, the macro vid. We want to look at this hammer on the quarterly. Okay. Is this in force yet? 233. Nope, it's not in force yet. 233. I'm not in force. All right. What's the week doing? All right. This could be an entry. 2-2 reversal back up in crowd. Here you go. We didn't talk about setups for next week yet, but definitely crowd. You got a nice 2-2 possible 2-2 reversal back up in crowd. And will it take this quarterly hammer in force? That's what now it's on my weekly list. Now I put this add crowd to weekly signals. Now it's in there. Now I know, I that's how I got actionable signals on the weekly. I'm putting it in there. So anyway, that's how we get in on something like that. Crowd. I got my macro signals, and I'm always checking these things to see what I can get in on. But going back to VRTX, I'm looking for an entry in on this thing. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Hey, I can talk about anything.
It says
so let me here's one that's set up for next week.
Okay.
It's on the weekly, rev strat on the weekly,
Where you got?
Oh, sorry, CMC.
CMC. All right, let me switch this back to the monthly. So we got the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60. And I'm going to put the labels on for the kids in the back.
And I'll tell you what, sorry, let's switch over to new. I'm going through my scan here.
All right, let me put that, but still, can we CMC? Can we go through? No.
Yeah. CMC. Weekly. So we've got half of our broadening formation on the daily. So you want to draw your daily broadening formation, which pretty tight.
Yeah, it's kind of tight. And I can see why you wanted to switch over to a different one. I was just trying to show how, there's a possible rev strat on CNC and how you would kind of look at that to see if you want it on a watch list or not. So if you don't want this on your watch list, why? Because here's my broadening formation on the daily, like you're saying. All right. So I'm looking for possible, because we talked about this too, guys, out here on how to create watch lists based on the strat. Okay. So this is kind of like a little extension of that episode. All right. So I got a possible rev strat on the weekly in CNC. It is it's still inside month. I got this line right here is creating another vertical on this monthly, but it's not 2 up yet on CNC, still inside month. I'm looking at my 60s. Okay. It's at the top of the broadening formation on the 60s. And then it's pretty tight range here. So why or why not? Am I putting this on the list or not? Go ahead.
So on the daily, it's pretty tight if you're stopping out on the daily. But if you're looking to swing this thing, your highs on the week are 42.62. So that would be your trigger entry. Your stop would be around 41.51. That's where it opened on the week last week. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at what, $1.10 roughly stop. And your target on this would be, and see.
Yeah, it's not a lot of magnitude there. Yeah.
It's not. And so here's what I'm looking at and why I kind of like it. I'm not sure. It would still go on the watch list, but it's inside on the month and quarter because they're coupled. But look how close it is to triggering the 2-2 on the quarter. in the
Okay,
month.
let me flip this. Now this is going to give a bunch of here's my quarter. So I'm going to delete these guys here so we can see it. But go ahead. There you go.
Yeah. So by the time this thing gets to the top of, or creates a broadening formation, by the time it creates a compound 3 on the weekly, it's triggering the 2 month up and quarter.
Yep.
So you're getting a simultaneous there move. So you've got different participation groups coming on board. So this thing has the potential at the top of the broadening formation to just explode, really.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a lot of, I don't particularly use volume. I make note of it on my scans to see how much volume is trading, because obviously I want liquidity. I want the volatility that volume brings. But if I look at a chart and I see that it's got multiple triggers simultaneously across the weekly, the monthly, or the quarterly, you can pretty much bet that there's going to be volume there because of the different people that are participating. Yep. If you know, I'd love for somebody to do a study on that, because I've been chatting with another trader, a friend of mine, that he uses volume, and I got nothing against volume. I used to use it as well. It clutters up my screen. That's the only reason I don't use it. But what I have noticed is that whenever big volume comes in, it comes in whenever there's simultaneous triggers across multiple time frames. So, yep. You know, I would love to see a study on that, to see, and maybe when I come back, I might have time to do that. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And yeah. Thank you for saying that. In CNC, CMC, low magnet, not very much magnitude. I understand why you would not want it, but I also understand why you would put a small position in it, just because it's 2 up on the year. The buyers are already there. And to your point, there's already buyers on the year. There's already buyers on the quarter and the month. If this thing, I mean, all we're doing is looking for a 2. There's already buyers here. This is not a reversal on the year. It's not, but it is 2 up on the year. I want to go where the buyers are. So on the quarter, still inside quarter, still waiting. You know, we just started this quarter. So in the quarter and the monthlies are coupled right now. So we're still waiting on this. All right. If this triggers 2 up on the quarter, all right, cool. And then 2 up on the month, that's just reason for me to, I mean, you know, that's a good one. I understand why you would want to get on this, but I understand, there's not much magnitude on this weekly, so it might not be a very strong weekly swing trade. Yeah. And then thank you so much for talking about volume, because I always get that too. Don't look at volume unless you're trading options. You got to be able to. I would say the biggest thing, unless you're trading super large shares or options, I want to be able to get out of this thing. I don't want to get stuck in an option I can't sell. There's like 10 people in here. It was awesome trading the stock that sells, socks for cats. That was really cool. I made a big profit, but now I can't sell this freaking calls to nobody because there's nobody in this thing. And this thing's going to expire as a loser. You know what I mean? So that's why I trade common on those weird ones. But anyway, but no, you're 100% right. I like it. Thank you for talking about volume. Some people will look at it, some people don't. And yeah, we should, anybody out there in the chat, anybody out there in the internets could do a study on, the volume spikes on simultaneous breaks on across time frames and what that looks like. Let me see if I can get some more people in the chat with some questions real quick. I know we're going over time. You can finish your point while I'm looking for questions here.
Well, I actually wanted to go back over to GFS.
Okay, GFS.
In the broadening formations, this doesn't have to do with, well, actually it does have to do with RevStrat. So GFS is one that I was watching. There was a lot of, I'll just be honest, I follow a few people just because they post really good charts that are perfect for the broadening formation, but they're actually a breakout trader. Mm-hmm. So, I follow them to kind of take advantage of that. But anyway, and that's not a bash on anybody, but seriously, GFS was one of them. GFS was pretty hot. There was a lot of traders on this, and it was breaking into new highs recently. Mm-hmm. And at the top of the quarterly broadening formation, there's big outside bar on the quarter.
Oh yeah, golly. Welcome to the
Yeah.
world. You only been alive 3/4.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
world. You're getting
Yeah.
wrecked.
So obviously, that broadening formation was easy to spot all the
Mhm.
way on the weekly and daily time frame. So I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, okay, this thing's at exhaustion. And it's looking exhausted. So on the daily, it puts in a compound broadening formation on the daily chart right at the top of the broadening formation.
Mhm. I'm
You
gonna
see
try
it?
and zoom this out so we can look at it a little better. Yeah.
Right at the top, right there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So put in a new high and it put it in a new low, and it went outside day on March 30th.
March 30th. Yep, right here. I got 28th on my. Oh, right here. Yep, March 30th, outside day. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zooming in.
So, we're rolling over the week and the month, quarter. So I was looking at this, and I actually posted this one online. I was around to be able to post it, and this is what I'm talking about. Whenever if you're not if you're looking at these things, there's not always just a long trade. There's always the backside of these coming back through the broadening formation, and that's why I enjoy them so much. And this one is a perfect example. You've got this huge broadening formation on GFS on the quarter, and this thing got exhausted right at the top of that broadening formation, and now it's coming back through it on the daily. But now, if you look at the monthly chart, it's putting in a rev strat down, and it's close to triggering the rev strat down on the month at, I got to expand that.
53.23, 53.32. I'm sorry, 53, 52.77.
52.77. Yeah.
Yep.
So rev strat down, you're looking for the compound 3 on the month there. You know exactly where that thing's going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going right to the bottom of that broadening formation.
Yeah. That's hilarious, right? Yeah.
So yeah, and it all started up here at the top when it was exhausted. It broke down the daily broadening formation when it went 222 on the week down.
Yep. Down. Yeah. And then it took your weeks down. And then look at that 2-2 continue, 2-2 reversal, 2-2 continuation on the week. And then now looking for a rev strat on the month. I'm gonna let's do this. I'm gonna make this big and then flip this to the month, and then we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Damn, gone. That's perfect. There's your monthly chart. Yeah, again, pull out your phone, take a picture of that thing, or screenshot that sucker while you're watching the show. Because look at that. Put that. So you know what I would do with this one? I would go to my watch list because we talked about how to make. Here's my 2-2 down on the month. All right, it ain't 2-2 down on the month yet, but I can put it there because it's daggone there. And is it there yet? So technically no, but
there's a lot of months left.
There's a lot of month left. And once this thing triggers and the SPY is red, diamonds are red, the entire broader averages are red. I am not going to go try and bottom pick, or excuse me, I'm not trying to top pick, Apple or somebody that's been doing okay. No, I'm going to GFS because he's already beat up and bruised, hobbling around. I'm trying to get some quick licks in. Rob had a pretty good analogy on the live show. He was talking about live trading. He was talking about you got this big gazelle. The wolf is not going for the strong gazelle running his butt off at the front of the pack. No, he's going off of that straggly looking, kind of hobbling around, just barely making it. I'm trying to eat. You know what I mean? And I'm going for this one that could barely, I'm going for this limping dude. the GFS gazelle, barely limping along.
I like that one. I like it.
I'm gonna get
Go
ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, it's not about necessarily scanning to find these. It's just about being able to identify them as they're happening, and looking for those triggers and just spotting them in real time.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that because that kind of goes along with the question here from Ahmed. Can you share some of your alarm setups, on many of your charts you observe? But that kind of goes along with what you're saying. You're looking for the inside bar and then a 2 up or a 2 down, and you're just watching. You're just watching this thing, and you know what it needs to do on the others when it breaks to the other side. Whiskey Ginger had a question here. I'm looking for with I'm looking for it, Ginger. Okay. She says, as we go through these examples, at what point would you add to your winning position? Uh,
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, yeah, well, I was just going to say, depending on the where I'm at. So if I'm in on the daily and I'm looking at the bigger picture on the quarterly time frame, I'm going to add as each time frame triggers. So if I get if I've got like an inside bar on a daily time frame and I enter that position, whenever that thing triggers the weekly time frame, I'm going to enter my position. And this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning about whenever I was trading Can Slim with Patrick Walker, and you know, he would add to positions, but the strat has given me a why to add. And whenever I'm getting triggers on the daily, the weekly, monthly triggers, I'm going to be adding to that thing.
That's
So
awesome. So you're adding on to continuations then.
yeah, when whenever I'm here to keep an eye on it, that's what I'm adding on. Yeah,
Awesome.
I don't add from my phone going down the road.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. That's a lesson for me. That's a lesson for me because you do. We talked about this with OG trades last episode. You get strategy in here, and I've done it, so I have to admit to it. But you get cute with the strat. You know what I mean? You start getting cute with it because I know it. I've done it. I know what I'm doing. I'm driving down the road. I'm doing my thing. Oh, this one's still working. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm at a stoplight. You know, I'm not advocating texting and driving. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I should change my story to something else. I'm at the gym. I'm at the gym hitting reps. All right. Hitting reps, and I'm already lightheaded because I'm doing the deadlifts. And I look at my phone. Oh, okay. This one's still working. And then hit add. And then go back and finish my workout and then come back to it. And this thing went outside bar to the downside. Now my ad has turned this entire trade into a loser. So I don't want that. Yeah. So I like what you're saying. Yeah. Jim Bradley says it right. He says discipline and process. For me personally, I don't like working options unless I can see the charts. Unless I can see the charts, I'll work options. So, and then what you're saying is if I'm not looking at the charts, I'm not adding. Okay, cool. It went 2 up on the quarter. But let me get to a place where I can actually look at my my trade and the broadening formation and what's happening. And do I want to add to this? And then I'll set my alerts or set my buys to add. So thank you for saying that.
yeah. And time is a big issue too. You know, what is it triggering at the end of the day? Is it the last day of the quarter? Is it the last day of the month? You know, time is a big thing for me when it comes to the strat. And to answer the question on alerts. So typically, if I'm in a position, that's usually the only time that I will set alerts, because if I'm in a longer term position, whenever a chart hits my target, obviously I want to know about it, and that's when I want to enter. I will close a position from my phone, but I never take a position. Okay. You know, it's one of those deals. And at the same time, I create, from my workstation, I create a small list that I can watch. So a lot of times I don't even need alerts. You know, I like to be able to see what those stocks are doing. And, you know, I might set an alert just to wake me up. You know, maybe I'm sleeping in my chair. It's been a boring day. So, you know, it's one of those deals. So
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So Rob, I love it because when they have an inside day on the spy, Rob's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Hey, Rob, what do you think about CVS? I want to do that. And then Rob's like, ugh. You know what I mean? Because it's just like it's trading inside day doing nothing. But you might have a 2 up on the 2 up on the 60, and Rob's just like, yeah, inside day on the SPY. And you could take it. Just it's got to go, and you got to push your stops up, and don't do if you know what you're doing, hit it. But if you're brand new, don't worry about it. Like he's I say this all the time, but people don't want to hear that. People want to hear that we're getting in there, taking every inside bar, we're taking every red strat, we're taking every hammer, we're taking every shooter. People want to hear that stuff. People don't want to hear, I looked at my broadening formations and this thing's chopping around on the weeklies. Why am I trading this? You know what I mean? I was trading around in a tight range on the dailies. Why am I messing with this? People don't want to hear that. But again, that's a really big reason why we're in there with Rob. So we don't do stupid stuff. Stuff. And Rob will call stuff off. He's like, if you know what you're doing, hit it. And but me, Rob says, I'm waiting for that simultaneous break. Good case. Steve has a good case study on VRM. We're going over time, but So we maybe I'll do VRM on a bonus video. That's a good idea. Steve Kevin Cash, Sergeant Steve Kevin
Kevin.
Cash. He's doing great. And just so you know, Joe, talking about the new people, he's been hanging out with me at Twitter on all the Stratters.
No, I know Kevin.
Yep, and he's a really good example of a person that cannot trade every day because of work. But when he is trading, he goes where the buyers are. He goes where the buyers are, or he looks at where the sellers are, and he takes his positions based on where everybody else is going, because he's just trying to ride the wave, and then he'll take his profits. And then maybe I don't know his frequency. Kevin, you might want to say something in there, but or say something on your Twitter right now, but he doesn't trade every day. But he's a great and because of that, he's a great example of a small account trader who takes the time to do the research, puts in the work, and then just trades based on the strat. And I'm telling you, he's been posting a lot of wins, and then he'll post his losers too, and his losers are small. His losses are small. So I'm sorry, I went on a tangent there, but he's not in the Army, but I gave him the strat rank of sergeant, because he's talking about, I'm a private and I don't know nothing and blah blah blah, and but no. He knows the strat, he knows what he's doing. So I gave him the rank of strat sergeant, a little E5.
Yeah, sergeant, yeah.
Yep.
Kevin's been around
out there.
He's been around about as long as I've known you, I think. But hey, that takes me to one of my points that I took a note on Flo's face here. So yeah, you don't have to have a huge bankroll to trade. What you got to have is the knowledge, and you got to have the discipline. The rest will follow. And knowledge and discipline, that's something that can be learned for free. Just find somebody that trades like you do. Find somebody that's knowledgeable on the subject. I would imagine, like me, you're gonna have to go through a few people. But you'll find the right person that kind of mimics, because everybody's personality is different. They're not going to trade the same, so their style will be different based on the personality. And so that's
perfect.
It's there for everybody. So
I like that a lot. And that's why Rob, another thing I keep hearing in the moaning, pouting or whatever, but Rob doesn't, Rob doesn't say, Rob's not spoon feeding you this stuff. He's not saying, okay, we're going to buy Microsoft with 200 shares at 136, and we're just going to see where it goes, and then we're going to sell it at at this number 250 or whatever. I made those numbers up. I'm not even looking at Microsoft. I'm just making that crap up. I'm just saying where he doesn't do that, where others they do that. Okay, fine.
They do. Yeah.
No, but Rob's not doing that. Rob's saying, okay, here's your macro charts here's your macro setups for the quarterly, for the yearly. Okay, for you guys that are investing, or for the guys that are trading medium to long-term trades. And then and he's also here's your weekly setups for the people that are just swing trading, weekly or daily setups. And then for the day traders, he is in there mainly during the day. He is talking to the day traders most of the time, because day traders will get in there and get themselves beat up and wrecked on FedEx was an example, but they'll buy some transports. Here's airlines. I'm buying airlines because all this news in the airlines, and then now the market opens and they're dumping airlines. And Rob's in there saying, "Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? It's going to the downside because of the monthly, the weekly, the daily. Look at the quarterly. CSNBC, I'm not going to call out no names, but there's a big stocks guy out there on TV that says Boeing's year. It's Boeing's year. Yep. It's going to be great. And then you look at the year, and it's inside year chopping around. No, it's not going to be freaking right. Boeing's year. It's not. So last question, and I got to wrap this mug up. Dee Dee in the chat says she missed this, and I didn't ask this, so I apologize. But do you trade common or options, Joe?
I do mostly common. In fact, I tried options, early in my career, and I had some success at it, but I'm not an options trader. It's hard enough I don't want everything else working against me. Time,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. And there's some really good guys at it. That's just not my taste. I am a common and I'm a futures trader. I mostly day trade futures. But I didn't say this. You were talking at the beginning about the guy who does corn and commodities
No,
and stuff
wheat
like
and all that stuff. Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
so yeah, I've been basing we've got a big farm here. And so I've been basing my cattle around the futures market with live cattle and feeder cows, you know, for years now, you know, and it's become very well. In fact, for all you futures
Yeah, look
traders,
at it. You give me a ticker, I'll show it, but or whatever it is, I'll show it because that's another thing I forgot to ask. Say he's been trading corn, he's been trading wheat, and he posted a chart about cattle. And I made a big funny thing about it on my gifts and all that stuff, you know, cows and everything. But he is showing that the strat trades on anything. It works on anything that trades.
It does. That's why price action is what it is. You know, it's
yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that I ever traded another way now, you know. So shout out to Dee Dee. Good to have you back, Dee Dee.
Yes.
We've been missing you.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that, Dee Dee. Yes, we are so happy to have Dee Dee back. She says post show. It's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it just any market you want to apply this to is, you know.
Yep. And it's going to work. And but the reality of all of it, I liked how you talked about stops. I liked how you talked about having the level of patience for the style of trading that that works for you. And Rob's, you know, and Rob taught us how to work all those type of positions to create winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. And then also, I'm going to say you can, even if, okay, I'm a swing trader, but the swing trades are really hard because of volatility and the Fed wants to raise rates, you know, interest rates and things like that, and bring down their balance sheet and all that crap, and you know, and inflation and everything like that. Okay, so I'm a swing trader, but the strat still shows me, okay, I know where to set my stops even, and then I know how to push my stops up. So even though I am a quarterly, monthly trader, I still know how to push my stops up to take profit until I get that one that does not stop me out. And then I can hold that mug. You know what I mean? And if you know, and you know, so it's awesome. So I got to wrap this up. Go. What you got?
Sorry, we're way over.
No. Yeah, this is a lot of awesome information. That's why we do this. We slow things down. The market's closed, and we have a good time. So thank you so much for being out here. People in the chat, give me one more final number. How many people out there? Thank you so much, Rob, for showing up. Rob Smith live here.
Ooh, Rob, yeah.
Yes, he was live in the chat today. I forgot to say that while I was in there. I should have said that. Well, what am I thinking? But Rob was, I did mention, you know, Rob was in the chat, but I should have made a bigger deal about it. Rob was in the chat today. So that's another reason to show up for these shows live, because you don't know who's going to be here, and we always have a great time. 59 was Cass says 59 was what we got to. That's 61 was our high. 66. Okay, so again, our broad information is moving.
Broad information.
It's moving, man. I'm telling you, we don't just trade it, we live it. So wrap it up there, Joe. What you got? Where can we find you? Anything else you want to promo? The high was 75. So now we're back down to 61. Someone plot that, put it out there on Twitter. That's hilarious. Do it.
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on. You know, there's a lot. I'm like Rob in this way, you know, if it's hurting other traders, it's kind of offensive, you know. So, you know, I like to shout out and say, hey, you know, here's what's going on. You know, they can do with it what they want, you know. And so thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I think you got a great show. You do as much for the strat community as, you know, most of the guys out there, way more for teaching the new guys, which is awesome. So yeah, promote it up, and look forward to many more episodes from you. But so yeah, you can hit me up away to Master 7 if you have any questions. Always feel free to DM me. I'm not back to full time yet, so I'm kind of in and out still. But we're still working on my office. Got the house dried in, so you know it won't be too long now. So I'm anxious to get behind the screens full time. So
okay, wave the Master 7 out there. I want to say it again. Wave the Master 7. Just to clear things up on Twitter, and that's awesome, man. I'm telling you, it was great. It was awesome. Again, 3 years talking to you, and then we finally get to meet face to face. So again, like you said, in the pre-show, we're going to work on getting that. I want to do it at the end of the month, but get you, Dee, you know, and I want to get as many live people out here, and some of the new people too. We'll see who wants to do it. And we'll do a roundtable and just talk about setups for next week. Heck, we might even get Rob out here. I think this roundtable ideas, it's just hard to get everybody coordinated, and it's a Saturday, you know what I mean? So it's just hard to get everybody coordinated to do it. So we'll see what we'll get it going. And thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. A lot of people don't want to put it all out there. And thank you so much for showing everybody the rev strats, where to put our stops, how to add to positions, and not how to get wrecked. And that's what we do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Jermaine. I appreciate it. Shout out to Group Sepia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm gonna let I'm gonna let go of you, and I'm gonna talk to the people here real quick, man. Thank you, thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Good. Good luck, guys.
All right. Hey, for everybody out there, if you want to get in with us with Rob and learn about these rev strats and how to trade it, you can use promo code StratSoldier2022. That's going to get you the first 3 months. That's a whole quarter with Rob. That's $99 per month. That's going to get you in with Rob live show. Okay. But then if you need another deal, okay, we got basic strat, which is going to get you the live room with Rob, and then my execution course. And that execution course is going to give you the basics on how to, when Rob says inside and up to the highs, where to put your entries at, where to put your stops, and where to go. So, and how to work it. All right. And then it's also going to talk about how to manage those open positions. And because I'm telling you right now, entering a trade and then managing that open position, that's two different things. Okay. That is two different things. So entering and managing it, that's what my execution course goes over. So I'm telling you, basic strat. That's the promo code basic strat. That's going to give you Rob's live room and my execution course for $199. Okay. That's a huge deal. All right. And that now you're in there with Rob. And then now you have a course that you can use to work all these things Rob's talking about. Okay. And then, goes along with we got spring strat promo code spring strat, Rob's live room, and then Rob's full course for $999. Okay, that's Rob's full course and Rob's live room, and I'm pretty sure that's annual. Step your group, jump in there if that's not right, tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's annual for the whole year. Okay. Yes, Rob, that's yes. Okay. So spring strat, that's annual. Okay. You got the whole year with Rob, and you got his strat course. Okay. So you have access to Rob, you know, you got it all. All right. Rob, sorry about, okay. Bob threw a question in there. Kind of, yeah. Rephrase that question there, Bob. But spring strat, that's going to give you Rob's live room and the strat course for the whole year, $999. Basic strat, $199 for the live room and my execution course. So you got something to use to work those trades as Rob's talking through the week and through the day and through the months. And there's a lot of other deals out there. Get on, follow Sepia Group. They're going to post all these deals so you can work it. They got the links and the promo codes linked, so you don't have to worry about, am I typing this in right and spell? I can't spell worth crap either. If I could spell good, I tell people all the time, if I could spell good, I've been a doctor. I wouldn't have joined the army. So they got the promo codes linked. Just click the, hit the promo code. It sticks in the chart. Sticks it in your cart. And you can use it. Get on it. Work it. Work it. And because we're here for you. Okay. And we want you to learn this stuff. And then after you learn it, and you know how to create winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops, you will be a confident trader. And then Rob turns into the world's greatest assistant. Okay. He starts out as your teacher, making sure you're not doing dumb stuff. Then he turns into your coach, reiterating what's happening. We're getting in the power hours every Monday, 1 hour after close. And he's, then he's answering. Now the market's closed. He's answering your questions. He's answering the emails. He's doing it live. And then he's putting out all these videos. Okay. And you got to watch the videos to understand. I can tell when people aren't watching the videos. Okay. People, what are we looking for, Rob? Where's the buyers at? Well, you didn't watch the lightning vid, did you? because the nightly event is only 2 minutes long, and you had your list of what we're looking for the day, especially if you're a day trader. Okay. So, and that goes for the weekend, the macros. So I'm not saying don't ask questions. I'm saying watch the content Rob puts out, because it all lines up into what we're doing in the live room. Rob is calling out targets. Rob is calling out entries. Rob is telling you when you need to exit. If you need, but we talk rapidly, okay? So Rob's just going to say 2-2 reversal. Okay, he's just going to say UNH takes the day. All right, move on to the next one, because we're communicating rapidly. He's talking about a lot of stocks all at once, and he's talking to a lot of people that do a lot of different things all at once. If you are in there with Rob and you need him to say, give me the price, Rob, where's Apple going to the highs? Where do I want to get in? He's going to say, oh, 174. Anything above 174, you can work it. Okay, thank you. Move on. New people, get in there. If you, again, we communicate a certain way, so it's rapid. If you need a price, ask Rob, okay? But you guys have been doing great. You guys have been doing great. So I'm not chastising nobody. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much for being out here. Thank you so much for being patient while we went over time. But Joe had a lot of good information. Watch this thing again. He talked about rev strats, how to trade them, what they are, how to trade them. We spent most of our time talking about the 1-2-2, which is a 2-bar rev strat. We did not talk about the 1-3, which is a 1-bar rev strat. The 1-bar rev strat is awesome because we know outside bars are broadening formations on a smaller time frame. Okay, go watch my episode on just triangle layout, and I talk about all that. All right, so we know. So a rev strats are broadening formations, and we talked mostly about the 2-2, but there's also a 1-bar rev strat, which is the 1-3. Maybe I'll do a bonus video on the 1-3. Maybe I'll do that, because we did skip that one. Thank you so much for being here. We put out such good information here. Thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who keeps coming here live. Thank you for everybody out here working together. Okay, I want to say this: everybody working together, because once all the stratters are working together, so I've seen this in the movie, so I'm gonna say it, but each individual group out there, okay, they're doing their own thing. All right, we got Alpha Pack, we got us doing the main things, education, doing live trading, teaching people what buys and sells look like. You got Alex Options out there doing options in the strat bot. You got Alpha Pack out there doing options strictly on quarterly charts. They're a part of the tank division. Okay. And then you got all these other, you got a couple other groups. All right. You got Sarah doing her YouTube stuff. You got all these resources. Okay. And instead of us bickering at each other, and you know what I mean? And what is this and what's that and all that stuff? If we all come together and create a fist and punch this market right in the face and freaking change this industry so that we all can win, that's what it's about. Okay. So let's all work together. Let's stop bickering about all the tiny little details about who trades and how trades. The point is, are we trading the strat by creating winning positions, add to them, and defending them with tight stops so we can take our profit? Then you're trading the strat. All right, make that fist. All right, let's all come together. Let's punch this market right in the face. All right, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. All right, anyway, let's all work together is what I'm saying. This is the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. This was fun. Maybe I'll put out a bonus video about that 1-bar rev strat. I need to do it. The 1-3. This was great. The replay will come out here very soon. Thank you so much for being here. This was fun. Thank you, Rob, for being in the chat live. I need to end it. Thank you so much. This is the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. Peace.